Are you thinking of relocating to the United States but don't have an employer sponsorship, tons of money to invest, or a college degree? Well, what if I told you that there's a way for a professional from any field to secure your green card? That's right, today we're talking about EB-1 visa, also known as talent visa. So let's bring down why EB-1 is just the right choice for pretty much anybody. First, no employer. Unlike most of the employment visas, you apply by yourself. You're not bound to your specific employer, and your permanent residence is not dependent on your work contract. Meaning that if you terminate your contract, your visa is not going to be affected. You will still be able to live and work in the US. Second is direct green card access. Once approved, you will become a permanent resident. No temporary visa steps like H-1B. After 5 years of living in the USA, you may apply for naturalization and gain your passport. Third, family included. Your spouse and unmarried children under 21 can also apply with you. And last but not least, freedom to work. You're not tied to a specific employer. You can work, start a business, or even take time off while you're in the USA. So how do you qualify for EB-1 visa? Well, you need to prove the professional ability in your field of work. It can be either science, arts, education, business, athletics, or any other field, no matter where you are and no matter what you're doing. So you actually have to meet at least 3 of the 10 criteria. Let's bring them up. First, evidence of you receiving awards for excellence. It can be either individual award or an award that you gained as a part of a team. Next is membership in associations that demand outstanding achievements. Third is published materials by you or about your work in major or in professional media. It can be articles about you, it can be articles about your work, your projects, any other way to describe your input and your contribution to the field of your professional activity. Next is you served as a judge or you evaluated some other professionals work in your field and you have proof to actually provide it. Next one is contribution to your field. It can be pretty much anything that can be considered innovations, can be trademarks, can be patents, can be any registered piece of intellectual property, or maybe any other solution that could be considered an innovation in your field, for example, if you work in IT. Next is authorship of scholarly or scientific articles. That's pretty much clear. You have to publish scientific articles in a journal that is cited and is for learned individuals. Then you will also have a criteria which is called work displayed or artistic exhibitions or showcases. It's very relevant for creative jobs, for example, like artists, like performers, and so on. But if you work in IT, it can also include conferences or any other public display. Next criterion is critical or leading role in distinguished organizations. For example, you occupy the position of lead or team lead or senior or head of or CEO in any company. If you did, you can also apply this criteria to your petition. Next criterion is high salary. Remuneration is basically if you received any money that is higher, approximately 1.5 or double the national in the country where you pay taxes. And last but not least is commercial success. It's applicable for creative specialists, for example, that perform in arenas or on concerts and they sell tickets. Thus, they generate revenue to provide the documentation. But if you ever performed anywhere and you were paid money for it, you can also apply this criteria. Now let's talk about the application process. Now it's very straightforward. First, you prepare evidence. You gather documents, you prove your achievements, like awards, media, and all that. After that, you file the petition. You file the 140. This is the official immigrant petition. You submit it in a printed form. So you print the case and you send it to the logbox, the location of the USCIS. If you're in a hurry, you can also pay for premium processing and you will get your response in 15 business days. After that, once you get your petition approved, you can adjust your status if you're already in the USA, or you can go to consular processing at an embassy in your country. Now, from a long-standing practice with this kind of immigrant visa, we can outline a couple of life hacks that could help you get approved from the first submission. First, don't hold back your talents. We, for example, had a case of an IT specialist from Kazakhstan, and honestly, he didn't have many achievements, but we used very expressive, very confident language, and it seemed to have convinced the officer to believe us, so he issued an approval. And now this client of us, he lives in Austin, Texas. Second, explain every detail. You have to give the officer an explanation that you're talking to a kid. For example, we had a case of a very, very renowned specialist. He had like billboards in New York, Times Square. We applied for a case. First, we got rejected. Then we rewrote the whole application. We added a lot of details from every document. There was like many documentation. We explained every letter, every contract, where that was from. And after that, we submitted it and we got our case approved this time. Now the client is waiting for his visa in London. And last but not least, don't think that the officer is always right. If you're applying your case and you're rejected first, don't think that you don't have any chance to get an approval, because the officer who is reviewing your case may be wrong. He may not see details, he may have missed something. So what we did with the case that we had after we got rejected, we corrected the case and then we reapplied it to a different processing center. You can do that, you can choose it. So it's all about the hustle, about how you work on your application. If you're willing to relocate to the United States, sign up for a free consultation with us. The link to a consultation is provided in the description of this video. Thank you very much for watching and see you next one.